All right, hello everybody, and welcome to KnowItAllDM Entertainment. I'm KnowItAllDM. Thank you for joining me today. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're still going to be working on the update, but we're going to be working on something that I've been working on and off for the update. A while back, I ran across some blueprints on the workshop, originally created by Spange, and I felt that it's a faction that he created that fits perfectly into Star Salvage. So I asked him if I could use it, and he gave an enthusiastic yes. So today we are going to be updating the Salvagers Alliance, or Scavengers Alliance. Scavengers Alliance? I think that's what it's called. Scavengers Alliance. And we will be, I already have them in the game as a faction, but they don't have very many stations and such. They don't have any patrol vessels or anything added yet. All I have right now is I've updated the 3 space stations already. I did that a while back. And I'm going to be updating at least one, if not both, of these ground-based POIs today. And then later we are going to be going through all of these capital vessels and basically making them be the patrol vessels and freighters that the Scavengers Alliance uses. The smaller ones will end up being freighters, and the larger ones, obviously, capital vessels. So, its aesthetic fits perfectly into Star Salvage, and their background also fits perfectly into Star Salvage. So, first I want to show off the space station updates that I have done for this faction. As you may or may not recognize some of these if you're familiar with the Scavengers Alliance. You'll notice I added a lot more defenses to the exterior of the stations. They were originally pretty much unarmed, but if they were going to be a faction, I decided, they're going to be a tough faction. So I added some rocket turrets down here at the bottom. And then I have some flak turrets and some minigun turrets. I decided that I'm going to use primarily ballistic physical projectiles for the Scavenger Alliance, because it feels more like stuff that you could scavenge rather than like laser blasts and whatnot. So if you end up going up against the Scavengers Alliance, you'll be taking projectile shots and rockets rather than lasers and whatnot. Over here, so we've got, of course, the first one is just the salvage station. And then we've got the scrapper station over here, which you'll notice I also... So I think some of these turrets were already here, but I made sure that to add additional little defenses to it here and there. I don't know if all of them were here or if I just added some of these, but these POIs are actually really nice. I think some of these defenses were already here on this one. I think it was just this one over here that was unarmed. And the others, I don't remember if I added some additional, like I think some of these were already on here and I just added a few more. But I think all of these turrets, or at least the ones over here, were already there. I'm not sure. But each of the stations should be able to defend themselves pretty well. But basically, these are going to be their orbital stations. Any space station you find of theirs will be these. The Scavengers Alliance will actually be able to be found just about anywhere apart from like the core of Xerax space or whatnot, because they're all over the galaxy, but they're not going to have their own territory. They're going to be able to be found in just about anybody's territory apart from, like I said, like, you know, maybe on the edge of Xerax space, but the deeper you go, the less likely you are to find them. They're most commonly going to be found in unclaimed space, going around scavenging and whatnot. And so, in addition to adding defenses to them, I have updated the interiors. So I've put a couple of traders on the interior of each of the stations, and I've got the lightings set to sensors, as you can see. I've got it set up so that the deconstructors and all the construction equipment are they're accessible. And if you know, all you have to do is just turn on the switches. They don't have any lock codes, so they're not locked, but they don't prevent access to them being switches. So, you've got the constructors off, constructors on, like that, and these will follow suit. Turn them on, they're all on, turn them off, they're all off. And so pretty much the deconstructors will take from the constructor input, which is this one, I believe. No, that's constructor out. Where is constructor input? I don't remember. It outputs to the boxes next to them. Oh, that's right. The constructor input is out over here, I believe. Somewhere. Constructor input. Yeah, this one here is the constructor input. So you've got a full 320,000 320,000 box to put whatever input you want. The other containers here are not public access, but that one is. So you'll see this one, if you try to open this, it'll affect your reputation. But this one is set to public access, which is the 0000 code. So you don't even need the code, and you can just open it and put whatever you want in it. That being said, this one also is going to be set to having no loot in it to begin with. But in any case, over here, you've got your furnaces that you can turn on and off. And then over here is the furnace inventory, the inputs specifically. They output, if I'm not mistaken, to the constructor input, which is out there. So you can put all the stuff you want to furnace into here, and then flip that on, and all three constructors will get busy furnacing what you need to furnace. The original station only had, I believe, it had like one constructor. I don't even know if it had the deconstructors. It may have had one. And it had just one furnace over here, I believe. It may not have even had a furnace, just the locations where they're supposed to go. This whole contraption over here, I added myself, trying to make it look sort of furnace-y, and then using the same design over top of them. So basically it's like the furnaces suck it up, put it in there, and then send it out to the thing or whatever. I mean, so we've got that. So this is the main construction and trade facility. This guy over here, and each of the Scavengers Alliance will have salvage trade, which is the same as Inner Space does. So that way you can buy these. Specifically, the salvage trade 2 are the capital vessel base traders. Some of them will have the trader 1, which is the small vessel hover vessel ones. And then I think I'm going to have all of them with the basic components, which is like everything, all the basics of these, except like there's no computers, but it's like electronics and the stuff that you can take stuff apart, scavenging. The repair consoles are public access, and there's a big old repair thing right here. So you can even land your capital vessel down here, throw the resources you want into here, and use it as a repair station. If we come down below, we've got the habitation area. This is public access, so if you die nearby, you can respawn here, and you can use this to heal yourself, as well as each of these are also public access. I believe the bathrooms, the toilets, and all them should also be public access, so you can clear your radiation and whatnot. We'll have civilians walking around the area. And then up here, you've got your food trader over here. So you can buy and sell stuff from him. These are also public access, but this fridge is just put it in here, access it there, and there you go. But you'll see there's, you know, civilians all over. And then back down here, you've got the core room and everything. So if you wanted to make an enemy of these guys, you could come in here and try to take out the core. But you'll notice that this core is a tier 2 NPC core, which means that it acts as hardened steel. So you won't be able to just use basic projectiles to take out the core. You'll have to use either explosives or certain weapons that are capable of damaging hardened steel, such as the high-powered assault rifle or the breaching shotgun. And of course, it's got defense turrets all over the place, and you've got officers, but you'll also have, those are the officers and whatnot. Don't think I had any patrol guards in this room. Those are civilians and officers. Yeah, so we've got all those. Somewhere over here, I don't think I've added it yet, but eventually I'll be adding little log files and such that that explain the Scavengers Alliance, going off of the lore created by Spange. And it'll be similar to like all the other logs, where you'll get a little bit of unlock points for discovering it, but it'll just be a faction lore type thing that you'll uncover. And each of the 3 space stations, I believe, should have at least one terminal that you will be able to access like that. See over here on this station has a lot of defense turrets on the interior as well. I don't know why it has a Xerax minigun set in here. Did I not set it up? Yeah, I think I forgot to set him up. He's supposed to be an assault cyborg. I want 2 of them. rather than a Xerax minigun. And so this station, I like the designs of these stations. They're really cool, and their designs are very similar to what I would expect in a salvage based game. All of them should have a medic station and a medical facility that you can access, as well as constructors and whatnot. All these people are civilians, and you've got your food guy. I believe one of these is public. Yeah, both of them are public. And it goes from one to the other. Pulls from here, outputs there. And then back here, you've got the construction facility. These just place it into here from the inventory. Which inventories? It just says constructor input. I believe all of these output to the ones nearby, and the input is this one. No, that's output one. This one is the input. So here's the constructor input where you'll put all your stuff. They're growing pentaxid over here. You won't be able to pick it without losing reputation with them, but if you take over the base, you'll have free high yield pentaxid. But like this one outputs there, this one outputs behind it, this one outputs behind it, this one outputs here, and that one outputs, this is output 5, yeah, these two output into here. These two output to there, and then of course the furnace, I've just got this as the input, and it outputs into the constructor input. There's no deconstructors on this one, just the furnaces and the constructor line, along with the smaller constructors. As always, you should be able to access those and these. Then up through here, we've got another point where you can come in. Down there is the repair thing, so you can pull your capital vessel up to it, dock it to that, or get close enough, then come over here and access this and repair your ship here. So we've got those, and then coming up a little further up, we've got habitation here, and somewhere, I don't remember. Oh, I remember where the core is. The core is back through here, back under here, and you'll have a Sentinel cyborg watching here. They all do have the proper CPU extenders, so they're all within the proper CPU for the station, just to make it a little bit more realistic. And then this one is the smallest of the 3 space stations. It's got a small landing platform. On top, it still has an open area for the repair bay, so you can still land a full capital vessel on top of it, and then just come on out and come down into here. The repair thing is right here for it, and yep, I left it like that. You've got these doors that you can't open. I haven't yet, I don't think I haven't set them up to codes to open yet, but they have cargo inside of them. It's easy to miss because this blends right in with that, and you might think they're, walls, but they're not. They're doors. Coming down to here, we've got, this is the control room area, gravity, generators, shield generator. And the fact that these all have tier 2 cores means that their shield capacity, they have 20,000 extra shields and 100 recharge bonus if they have shields. I don't think all of them have shields. This one does, and I think I don't think those two do. I think this is the only one that actually has a shield generator in it. But here's a terminal that you could add dialogue to, and I think that's the one I'm going to add the lore dialogue to. We've got down here a hydroponics bay area, and then out this way we've got the seed trader, which is basically Aunt Mary's. We've got a fridge over here, and then the food processor for them is over here and over here. Small landing bay for a small vessel out here. And then we can go down another level. This is the constructor area, and this actually does have furnace input, constructor input with the LCDs, just so that people know just by looking at it what it is. But you've got a furnace over here, furnace over there. These are sort of like conveyors. This was a conveyor thing. Why did I... Okay, it's a concrete block, so it can't have that texture. That's why I could change the block, I guess, to a different one and put the conveyor back, but I don't know. I may or may not do that. And of course you've got your constructors here that go from the input here, and it outputs at the quartermaster out here. And the quartermaster has 55,500. You've got a teleporter over here that you can use if you're friendly enough with them. I think this is the only one of their bases that does have a teleporter. And then of course out here you've got the large hangar bay with you'll notice it's got the retracted turrets there. I don't remember. Yeah, okay, there's the sentries. Oh yeah, that's right. I've got them on a timer with the door so that they won't pop out until you're already inside. But there's a basic components is in here, and then you've got also the default white goods is over here. And then up here, we just have the little balconies with access to these, but I think these are, yeah, these are locked. So it's just sort of like an overlook area. And that's basically it for the space stations of the Scavengers Alliance. You'll have those 3 that I've already updated. And so now like I said, I'm going to update the ground bases. I've already sort of started working on these. The only reason there's gravity here is because I've got a gravity module up above. Generator A. Yeah, there's generators down here that leads into the underground corridor section, and these areas, all of this will be underground. There's the core. Also, did I make it a tier 2 yet? I did. I thought I did. Because all of these are going to be tier 2 bases, because you're going to find them outside of the starter locations. So one thing to note is that these sentries aren't basic sentries. They are minigun sentries, which are, they basically have assault rifle firing. They fire a lot faster, they do more damage, and they act as hardened steel, so you have to use either explosives or ship weapons or whatnot to damage them. generator A. Over here, we've got the furnaces under there. I don't remember what I was. So I need to put something here in the garden. I need to make sure all of these. Okay, I'm gonna have to. All right. Let's just go through the equipment. Armor locker, all of these. All right, so hold on. All right. Click. Consoles. Control stations. Alright, I don't know why they put so many Wi-Fis on here. Not that you're going to be able to use them at all, so unless you take over the base. Fridges. Fuel tanks, generators, hangar doors, lights, medic. All the rest of those should be fine. Okay. Now that we've got that, I think for the garden, we'll put a little bit of aloe. We're definitely going to need... because this is outside of the medical area, so I would go under the assumption that they're medical plants, and then plant protein. So oh, hold on. Those I need. Where are the full? Go. Okay. And this is the little lounge out here. The food processor needs to be connected fridge free. Okay. These are not connected to anything at the moment, which means I need to find a input and output that can be accessed up here. All right, this goes down back here. I could replace some of the floor here, I believe, with might be better if I replace the walls with some whatchamacallit. This is what I gotta figure out, or things like this. Alright, so you come here and come down into here. I could have this exit back out here. This exits to behind here. That says CPU, but we already have CPU tier 3. Those, I believe, are for tier 4, which I don't want to push it over anyway. So what I could do, instead of having that be CPU, give me extensions and a storage repository. Okay. Actually, let me... Okay, so these were concrete that look like gravel. Yeah. Would like to leave those, but what I can do is, because it doesn't have to be big, I can do that, and then actually I can do that. Put that there. Eh. Alright, so we'll do that. What color are the constructors? And we will label this constructor input. Okay. All right, so we've got the constructor input here. I will go ahead and put this there. Background color. Input. Okay. Now we've got constructor input here. Come on. There we go. And then I need a constructor output. I want something that's like right here. But this wall... Okay, that'll work. If I do that, actually that one. If I do that. Okay. And then that here, like so. I can put a cargo box here. Constructor output. now I can connect all of these. Okay. That should be good for that. So now, I think this is just a little hangar area where you can dock a small vessel and be safe. All right, under here, where the furnaces are, I believe that's through here. Now, this room is not airtight, but the others out there are. Even though there's those, because these furnaces are at the bottom. Now, there's two ways I could deal with this. One, I could put a layer underneath it and seal these up. You wouldn't really be able to tell a difference if I did that. And what that means is that as input. But I'll need to find a furnace input for these. I may put the furnace input up above here. Landing pad. It would make more sense to have it down below. So not exactly sure where I should put the furnace input. Maybe over here on the sides here. I'm thinking it would make more sense to have them in here. Maybe it doesn't have to be so big. Yeah, the thing about the furnaces is if you move them up one block, I guess you could. You'd have to take this out and take all of the force field emitters out, and it'd make it even less airtight actually trying to do that, because the force field emitters you would then have to put up here and on the sides. It's probably easier just to seal up the bottom. But I'm thinking, what's this wall here? Okay, this wall here, I can do this. And I can do that. Like so. Even if I put force field emitters under the furnace, I would have to fill in the rest of this because it would take up this block. And because this base will be using the remove dirt, That means this entire underneath area would be empty if I didn't fill it up with filler blocks. So I might as well just put like concrete blocks under the furnaces and then filler blocks the rest under the base. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So over here, I'm wondering if it's even necessary to label this with the sign, but I will just because the other input outputs have it. Okay. So now, 2 concretes and filler. So these, I will do that. And then probably the best I don't think these actually change color with that, so I'm just gonna do that, and then with the filler, yeah, I have to come all the way out here. Oh, you can't come all the way up. It's disappointing. Oh, I have to come out here because of those and this that overhangs. The overhang is fine. Alright, so we'll have to come from here. And then out one more. Like that. And that should be good. We're going to want to do so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. That we're going to want to have it you see, now I've got the conundrum of the fact that these, it's going to go flat down if I do more than 2. I think I'm just going to do the 2 then, which is fine. I'm not going to have to do the remove blocks thing at that, but it should be fine. I thought that, well, actually, I could add another layer of filler and take out the protrusions here. So, like, take off all this. Okay, so like that. And then do that and have it lowered by 4. So that when they spawn in, these will still be visible here, and it'll just be underground. But because I've got these concrete blocks, it'll be airtight. And that way, this will be the ground's surface level, and they'll just come right up into here. That being said, if I'm going to do that, I could reduce the area of it. Stop it! Like that, because that part would be unnecessary. Technically, as would that. But it would be nice to have at least a little bit of a flat area there for the ramp, so it's not, because if I take these flat areas away, there's always the potential that this, like, it'll slope down right to here rather than like here and up. More than likely, depending on where the POI is placed, it'll be a flat-ish terrain anyway. But I'll leave it as it is here. So the next thing that I need to add, and I'll have it -4, because each of these big blocks is a is 2 terrain blocks, and in here, when you pull it up, the ground offset is on terrain block level. So -1 would just lower it here, like instead of the ground being here, it's there. -2, -3, -4. So the ground will be level with this if I do -4. Which I think that's the optimum for what I want for this POI. I could do one more, taking that out, but I think having the walls as they are, having this the same as that, should be fine. Which I never actually explored this part of it. Is it just a big old moat? Sort of. It goes under through here. Interesting. Interesting that this... that's the thing, though. There's no actual, like, side, like, turning pipe. Like, there was that those had, but There's no like connector thing. That's weird. Anyway, so we've got the wall, and then you've got the main portion of the base. The thing I'm having a conundrum with now is if I put civilians wandering out here, there's a good chance they're just going to wander off things. I don't think they're supposed to, but I have seen them, like, and then these will end up being just filled with civilians. I don't know. I can put some out there and test it out. At the very least, I want to put some civilians in here. So we will put civilians in here. Since there's a good chance... Okay, so the only way to get into here is either through here or up the ladder. I should put these upside down. Because the spawn radius goes down. Like if I do this, the spawn detection radius, as you can see, goes up, but it will never go below the thing. So on a higher elevation thing here, you want to put it like this so that you can get the underground area and out down to here. First, we are going to set you up as 3. And then we'll just pick some random, I don't need static, civilians. Let's pop a human in there. Okay. Same as base. And then for these, that should work. So now if you come down and land down here, even if you land up here, pretty much if you come into here at all, they will spawn, which is good. That's kind of what we want. We're going to want some static NPCs in here. Can't put it against the wall. I guess one in there is fine. Let's see. What I could do over here. Now here's the conundrum. If I put them facing this way, if you're coming from below, they won't spawn until you get up on them. See, that's the problem with designing POIs where you can enter from above or below, is that having things that spawn using the spawners, you sort of have to put them near the middle and sideways-ish. So, for example, I could put these here. But if I put them here, you might as well put them like this, because once you get up here anyway, they're going to be... So if I were to do this... Sideboard... Sentinel... Sideboard... Sentinel... I mean, I could put them here or over here. I guess I could put them here as well. Like that. So that if you are coming up here, as you come up here, they'll spawn in right there. And then they'll spawn in. And then I don't want to put them in here, but I could put them here. Like that. That's the ammo repository. Okay, and I'm really not going to want many wandering out here, because the ones that would wander would have a chance to fall off. But I can have the ones inside wandering. I am going to want Traders Guild in here. Which way do I want him facing? I could put him here facing this way. But then if you were to respawn here, he would be in the way. I could get rid of this and put him here. And then we'll do just medic, and we will just pick a random trader. Okay. So now we've got a medic that will sell some things. There's not really a bar-like area, so no real good place for someone to sell food, which is fine. We don't need a food salesman on everything. I would like... maybe not in here. Maybe down below? Or... we could put them in here. Off to the side in here. You are going to be default gray goods. Okay. And then down here, you are going to be opponent's basic. So that if you don't, that you can actually buy components and put them in there if you need. Okay, here's the habitat area. The lower habitat. So this looks like the area... Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go through and set all the doors. Greedy Crow, welcome to the stream. Okay. Alright, so now all the doors are set proper. I need to double check the space stations, make sure the doors on the space stations are set proper. Okay, so yeah, the hangar, you can actually go down into the habitat. Let me make sure to set all of these. Yay! This, I believe, is on a sensor, so it doesn't matter if you have that set. This is not on a sensor. Why is it not open? There we go. Okay, so back in here, what I could do is slightly reconfigure this area. What I want to do how would I want to go about doing this? Well, first I know I'm going to do that. And then that. These guys are on. Okay. Too bad there's no tables like this with people sitting at them. That would be cool. But instead of these, what I want to do... Okay, we don't need 2 ventilators in here. Someone's symmetry happy. We will do this, and then... curve. Actually. Do that. Okay. Actually, we don't need to do that. Hold on. Let's do this. It'll start curve here and there. Can we walk past these? No. So this one will do that. Okay. Now out here, I'll just leave it as it is. Alright, so this NPCs can open. That one I will not let them open. Nor that one. Nor that one. Okay. so this is the bathroom. And then these are bunks. Alright, so what we'll do here... Oh, I can get a... There. Alright, these. Okay. And then I'm gonna put a random Xerax civilian that can possibly spawn in just for the heck of it, because Xerax are weird and show up everywhere. Okay, and that will be 3. Okay. Now, in here, can't put them right in front of it because of the glass, but it's fine having those there. I will also add minigun sentry blocks here and there. So that if you're hostile and coming, you'll get attacked. Okay. That being said, I should add some minigun sentries. Really should add them all over the place. Add it here. And then put one. They want it to be nice and friendly, but not everybody is nice and friendly. I'll just put this one here. Right, and then obviously back here we're going to want a couple. Okay. Not really going to need them in here, but I will throw one down over here in the corner. Now that we have all those, we're going to want to put some up in here as well. None of those are really good spots to put them. Don't really need them there. This would be an optimal spots. It's a crane, it's not going to have on it, but I could put them here and there. Okay. You've got these out here, but I would like to replace them with these. Okay. And yes, there is a turret up here. Black turret. That is a base flak turret, right? Someone didn't just go, whoa, you know. Yeah, no, it's a base flak turret. Okay. Now we've got people, we've got activity, we've got... Those are on the outside. This is definitely going to want to be defended like so, being that it is the ammo repository. Okay. Well, Greedy, let me just show you what I'm putting on here, okay? These are minigun sentry turrets. They're not your normal alien turrets. They do 60 damage. Let's compare that to your basic, player turret, right? Where are the basic player turrets? Okay, there's the player turrets. So if I put one of these down, your basic player turret only does 50 damage, 120 RPMs. This does 60, and it's not showing the RPMs, but let's see, content configuration. This will be items config. Player sentry guns. Let's go backwards because alien sentry gun assault rifle. So these 60 damage, rate of fire is 0.2 as opposed to the player sentry guns, which is 0.5. So it fires even faster. These are tier 2 POIs. That is why. They are only going to be found outside of the starter systems, which are going to be tier 2 POIs, which have not only not only are these doing more damage and firing faster, they count as hardened steel. So your ordinary handheld weapons won't be effective against them. You'll have to use either ship weapons or specially designed handheld weapons like the high-powered assault rifle or the breaching shotgun. There's a few others, anything that can damage hardened steel, like the heavy snipers, the epic sniper rifle, the antimatter. This one really can do it. But because it's a tier 2 POI, it also has a tier 2 NPC core, which also counts as hardened steel. So you're probably going to want to use explosives to take it out. You'll notice it has more hit points than normal as well. And it increases shield recharge and shield capacity if the POI already has a shield. This one does not. The space stations, this one has a shield. So this one will actually be more difficult to take out than the others because it's not only got a shield, but a tier 2 core. And they all have the tier 2 assault rifle sentry guns. The POIs are going to go up to tier 4 in this game. Tier 2 is just the assault rifles and such. Tier 3, the sentries for tier 3 actually fire lasers that do a lot more damage and but don't quite fire as fast as the assault rifles, but do a lot more damage. And tier 4 fire plasma shots at you that do a lot more damage. Tier 3 and 4 sentries count as combat steel, and the tier 3 cores, let's come down. All right, so, oh, it's in here. So you've got your tier 2 core, the tier 3 core increases shields by 50,000 and 200 recharge bonus, and the tier 4 is 100,000 shields and 500 recharge bonus. Basically the way it's going to work, tier 1 POIs are going to be found within the starter systems and the surrounding fixed systems in the starter systems. Tier 2 are going to be in the general open space, the unclaimed territories and whatnot. Tier 3 are going to be the POIs that you're going to find in, for example, Xerax space or Polaris space. They're going to be the claimed territory POIs. And then tier 4 are going to be the Cursed Expanse. And then the tier 5, the only tier 5 core that exists is... Where are you? Here. The Alien Core, which is also going to be able to be found by the player in certain circumstances. And it counts as hardened steel. You'll notice it has 1,000 hit points. This is going to be the Chapter 4 Lost Galaxy cores that you're going to find way out at the end of the game. The reason I'm adding all those tiers for the NPCs is because I also have tier 2, 3, and 4 cores for players. The tier 2 cores, you've got the powered core, which acts as a generator, and you've got the reinforced core, which acts as hardened steel and has more hit points. You've got the tier 3 enhanced core, which is a more powerful generator and increases CPU. And then you've got the tier 3 fortification core, which has even more hit points, acts as combat steel, and increases your shield capacity. The tier 4 bastion core, even more hit points, also acts as combat steel and increases your shield by even more. The advanced core that you can use to be able to find that in vanilla removes CPU usages. This one, instead of removing CPU usage, it just gives you 500,000 CPU, but also acts as a very powerful generator. And then if you find the alien core, that's your tier 5 as well. So at tier 5, NPCs and players will be using the same type of core. But yeah, it's intended so that as you go further in the game, it actually gets harder instead of, okay, I've got a capital ship, I'll just wreck face all day long. No. But for this next update, I'm like, as I add things, I'm getting it ready for when I overhaul the existing POIs. So the POIs that I'm adding and updating are going to be more difficult. For example, when I update the abandoned POIs for to be haunted POIs, those are going to be tier 4 POIs because they're going to be found in the Cursed Expanse. I will also have tier 2 versions that are found in the areas closer to the starting systems. Well, you mentioned the Empyrion, and that brings up a point. So I have derelict CVs, SS. Hold on. So right now, I have 5 variants of derelict CVs. I plan on adding more, and these are all pretty large CVs. The smallest one is this one, the derelict freighter, which is size class 6, but all the others are like size class 9 or above, 8 or 9. I've got the old Empyrion that you can find and refit as your own capital vessel. I've got the full DSE that you can find and refit as your capital vessel. I've got this capital vessel, which it's just called derelict capital vessel. And then this one, as you saw a little bit earlier, which is also a derelict capital vessel. And you can find these in certain areas of the galaxy and repair them. And claim them as your own. Let me go ahead and move this out of the way because I believe this is completed now. So okay. All right, so BAO Alliance. All right, so I've got the 3 BAO Alliances. So this should be saved as SS BA SAS. And this is just Scrapper Base. So save as Scrap Base. So now group name BA Alliance, Scrapper Base -4, Rain removal. Okay. So we should be able to just do BA Alliance. Okay. So we've got the orbital ones, and we've got the start on our 2 ground-based ones. This one doesn't really have much of an underground area. And it's just a salvage yard. So it'll probably have more, deconstructors. And then are these just constructors in here? Or is this just no, that's just a thing. So there's deconstructors, but there's no actual constructor. That's fine. Okay. That'll make an interesting setup. Probably what I'm going to end up doing, I'll put the other 2 deconstructors down. And I might, because I'm going to need a input-output for the deconstructors. Oxygen. Here is the solar power. Okay, so you can come down here. Fuel generator. Solar power. And then you can come in through here. That's where the core is. Okay. Interesting. I may end up wanting to work on this one later. Because it's going to be even though it's physically a little bit bigger in size, it's going to be a smaller thematic POI. Because it doesn't have the underground little base under it. It's just a little salvage yard area. Okay. So we've got those done. Alright, so now that we've got those and one of those done, I think I'm going to actually go ahead and call this a stream because it's almost 2 o'clock here. Well, little past 1:30. Yeah, I had a lot of stuff going on the last few days that came up on the fly, and so I was hoping to stream last night, but I didn't get a chance to. And then tonight I had to start a little bit later than I wanted, and I didn't even get done what I wanted. Hold on, are those furnaces under here? Oh, this is this space. I thought I was on this space. You see, I'm getting tired. I'm forgetting where I'm at. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this over to here. This base here I may make all the NPCs on this base just be cyborgs, so that it's pretty much an automated thing. There's no actual people here because there's no need for civilians, because there's no place for civilians to live or anything. So, what I might do is in here put the guys that sell the basic components and whatnot, and then have a few cyborg guards, and then in here have the default white goods or default gray goods, one or the other. Probably default white goods in here because the other one has default gray goods. That wouldn't be too bad of an idea. Put a couple of sentries around like I did on here and there at the other one. Do the same on these. All right, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun refitting that one POI. Next time I get on, I may be back doing this, or I may be going back to setting up the conversations and PDAs for that stuff. But I want to thank everybody for joining me. It was a lot of fun. I'm hoping to do a lot more live streams. They're going to be a little bit late at night, hopefully they're starting at around 10 p.m. Eastern time. But in any case, I'm KnowItAllDM, and y'all have a good day now.